302 AM ETHOUSTON. So, we're back where we started. The World Series is all tied up. Clayton Kershaw will be pitching against Dallas Keuchel. And everyone is worried about the Houston Astros bullpen. How we got here is another matter, however. We've had 4 games, all close and tense at various points, with heroes and goats in dramatic home runs, and we have a chance to have a World Series to remember. Of course, that depends on what happens these final 2 or 3 games. I don't think a World Series has to go 7 games to be an all-timer, but it does have to go 6, and it has to have a couple of signature moments or games. In my book, the greatest World Series ever played was in 1991, when the Twins beat the Braves in 7 games, with apologies to 1975. Just last year, we had a final game for the ages. So let's compare what has unfurled so far this year to what happened in 1991 and in 2016 to see if we're on track for something special. Here's my system. Each game is rated on a 1 to 5 scale: 5 great, game 4 very good, game 3 good, game 2 fell asleep on, turned on an old episode of Seinfeld. The ratings are 100% absolutely completely subjective. Here we go. Jock Peterson's 2 home runs this series have been in highly dramatic spots. Ezra Shaw. Getty Images. Game 1 2017 Dodgers 3, Astros 1. Every game can have its built-in drama aside from the final score. This one not only featured 2 Cy Young winners facing each other in Kershaw and Keuchel, only the 5th World Series matchup of Cy Young winners since 2000, but also featured Kershaw making his World Series debut and dealing 11 strikeouts over 7 innings. Justin Turner dared the go-ahead 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Keuchel and Kershaw certainly performed in Game 1 and gave the people what they wanted with the hype. Dodgers reliever Ross Stripling said, "If Turner's home run happens in the 8th or 9th, maybe this game gets a 5, but instead we drop it down to the very good category." Rating 4.2016 Indians 6, Cubs 0. Corey Kluber was great for 6 innings. The Indians scored twice in the 1st inning and 3 times in the 8th to put it away as light-hitting catcher Roberto Perez hit 2 home runs. That was weird, but not really much drama here. Rating 2.1991 Twins 5, Braves 2. Greg Gagne hit a 3-run homer in the 5th inning to make it 40, while Jack Morris pitched 7 innings. It would be his best game of the series. Rating 2, Game 2 2017 Astros 7, Dodgers 6, 11 innings. Maybe the most exciting Game 2 in World Series history, as the Astros tied it in the 9th inning against Kenley Jansen on a Marwin Gonzalez home run, then hit 3 more homers in extra innings, and the Dodgers hit 2 of their own before falling short. We might be talking about this one forever. I know that will be the one I'll think about in 20 or 30 years because it was so crazy down the stretch, Stripling said. In fact, it was so crazy we gave it a bonus point. Don't argue. My rules. Rating 6. Keep up with the latest as baseball's top teams contend for the title. Ultimate Playoff Guide, WS Picks. Is this a classic WS in the making? Bellinger's bat warms up in G4 win. Tough start for Darvish on a big stage. Insider projections. Player ranking, schedule, complete coverage, 2016 Cubs 5, Indians 1. Jake Arrieta took a no-hitter into the 6th inning, but head-walked 3 batters and his pitch count was high, so their WASNT really high drama there. The Cubs broke it open with 3 in 5th. Rating 2.1991 Twins 3, Braves 2. Tom Glavine and Kevin Tarpani both go 8 innings back when men were men, and the Twins scored the winning run in the bottom of the 8th on Scott Leas' home run. Wave those homer hankies. This also featured the famous Kent HRBEK play when he lifted Ron Gunt's foot off first base. That's worth half a bonus point. Rating 4.5 Game 3 2017 Astros 5, Dodgers 3. This was a more interesting game than the final score indicates, but there weren't any lead changes, and the Dodgers played a sloppy game with Yu Darvish blowing up in the 2nd inning. Brad Peacock saved the Houston bullpen with 3 scoreless innings. We stayed positive. We knew one bad inning happened, Jansen said after Game 3. You can't hang your head. You can't let one bad thing give you a bad day. You have to know that we've had a great year and a great postseason. That mindset would set the stage for a dramatic Dodgers victory in Game 4. Rating 3.2016 Indians 1, Cubs 0. The first World Series game at Wrigley Field since 1945 was awesome and loud and nuts. Neither starter gave up a run, but neither finished 5 innings. Coco Crisp singled in pinch runner Michael Martinez in the 7th. Rating 41991 Braves 5, Twins 4 12 innings. It was the first World Series game played in Atlanta. The Twins tied it in the 8th on Chili Davis' two-run homer. In the top of the 12th, the Twins ran out of bench players and pitcher Rick Aguilera had to pinch hit. Imagine if we had Twitter back then, although get this, the Twins had used 8 bench players. They carried only 9 pitchers back then. So lay off Tom Kelly. Anyway, Mark Lemke's 2-out single in the 12th walked it off. Rating 5 Game 4 2017 Dodgers 6, Astros 2. Through 5 innings, Charlie Morton was pitching one of the most dominant World Series games in recent memory, and Alex Wood had a no-hitter going. Thanks to today's itchy-finger managing of pitching staffs, it wasn't really a classic duel in the end, but it was 11 until the Dodgers scored 5 runs in the 9th, with Ken Giles inking his name alongside Calvin Schiraldi and George Frazier and other unclutch World Series relievers. These last two have been really competitive, kind of heart-throbbing from the start, Stripling said. It's intense, both atmospheres are crazy, super loud, and certainly living up to the hype we could have anticipated. Obviously, this was a better game than the final score indicates, but not a classic. Rating 42016 Indians 7, Cubs 2. Too much Kluber. Jason Kipnis hit a 3-run homer in the 7th, but mostly a snoozer. Rating 21991 Braves 3, Twins 2. Another walk-off win for the Braves, as cult hero Lemke tripled and scored on Jerry Willard's sacrifice fly. This game also featured a memorable home plate collision between Lonnie Smith and Brian Harper. Bonus rating 4.5. So what's next? We have Kershaw tomorrow. They have their best pitcher tomorrow, Jansen said. It's awesome. Like I said, the two best teams in the game. They won 100 games, we won 100 games. That's a good offensive team. So are we. We have pitching. They do have 2 tremendous starters. It's going to be exciting. What makes the 1991 World Series so memorable was what happened in Games 6 and 7. Game 5 was a 145 blowout, rating 1. Game 6 was the Kirby Puckett game, when he made a leaping catch at the wall to rob a home run and then walked it off on a home run in the 11th, rating 5.5 because Kirby. Then came Morris' 10-inning masterpiece in Game 7, rating 7, because that was one badass performance, the likes of which might never be topped again. Last year featured a 32 Cubs win in Game 5, rating 3, a blowout in Game 6, rating 2, and then the wild victory for the Cubs in Game 7, rating 7, for back-and-forth excitement and historic significance. Through 4 games, the 2017 World Series scores at 17 points. Last year's World Series was at 11. It really wasn't an exciting series on a game-by-game basis until the finale. The 1991 World Series was at 16 points through Game 4, but with 2 all-time classic games to come. So the pressure is on. Give it to us, boys. We have more to come. No matter what, we have Kershaw, Kershaw and Verlander on deck. So stay tuned, Stripling said. Who knows? Some crazy things might happen.